Hey everyone, it's Professor Hatch yet again, and I am here to talk about the research paper outline. So let's share my screen and we'll get into that. This is going to be a little different from the previous outline videos. I'm actually not going to open up Word and type. I am going to open up Word, but you don't need to watch me type. Also, I've done this 3 times where I have typed, and this is the final essay. And you should be, at this point, pretty comfortable with everything. So yeah. All right. So this is the outline. Once again, look at the research outline template, and this is that. And up here, you'll click on download. I've already done that. So I'm going to open up. For some reason, I didn't share my entire screen. I'm just going to fix that right now. There we go. I'm going to open up the outline in Word. This looks a little different from the other outlines, and that's just because it's older. But you know, it was so great that it didn't need to be changed. Yeah. Anyway, so the thesis statement here is going to be, it's as always, it's just a template. The problem of X is a serious one, and possible solutions would be blank, blank, and blank. That's as simple as your thesis statement needs to be. It could be more eloquent. It could go into a little more detail. It shouldn't go into too much more detail. Maybe you could mention the community in which this problem exists, but honestly, this is fine, especially for the outline. Remember, as always, the final draft should be good, the rough draft should be shitty, and the outline barely even that. So getting back into these body paragraphs, you'll see here, I have included, what are we looking at? We're looking at 7 total paragraphs, 5 body paragraphs. So you're in body paragraph 1, you were describing the problem and what it is. In body paragraph 2, you've got the first solution you're going to propose. In body paragraph 3, the second solution. Body paragraph 4, the third solution. And then finally, in body paragraph 5, you are going to give us the best of those solutions. And then, of course, the conclusion, which is your standard conclusion. It's the same as every other conclusion practically, except you are definitely going to end with a call to action in this one. I would like to point out that you have 6 required sources for this assignment and only 5 body paragraphs, which means that very likely you are going to need to double up evidence in one of these paragraphs. I would recommend only doing it in one of these paragraphs. However, I will say this, I don't need to share my screen for this part. You're looking at a minimum of 7 paragraphs. There is a possible optional 8th paragraph you could include. Before you describe the problem, you could include a body paragraph describing the community. Now, if you were going to write about the problem of homelessness in Riverside County, I don't think you need to describe the community. Your audience, which is me and your fellow classmates when they provide peer review for this, they already know what Riverside is. They've got Riverside County figured out. Even if they've only lived here 6 months, they've got Riverside County figured out well enough to understand what the community of Riverside County is. If you are, on the other hand, going to talk about a more metaphorical community, it's a literal community, but a community of people, such as, and I said some of these examples in the previous video about the research paper. Let's just go with cosplayers. If you are writing about the problem of racism within the cosplay community, which, by the way, I know from having read previous student papers, is an actual thing within the cosplay community, believe it or not. I believe the problem has something to do with, I don't know, white people who are cosplayers dressing up as non-white. I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember. But I do know that there is a problem, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of it. I'm an old man with a crappy memory. There is a problem within the cosplay community of racism. I just can't remember the details at the moment because it's late. And also, I'm just old. In any case, if you're going to write about a community like the cosplay community, or if you're writing about the community of Magic the Gathering enthusiasts, I don't know what problems they have, but I'm sure they have them. Whatever community, I mean, I'm a member of the comic book lovers community. I don't know, I'm a comic book nerd. I'm a member of that community, and there's a lot of toxic douchebags in that community, a lot of racist, shitty, toxic people in that community. Mostly wonderful, lovely people who I would love to sit down and have a meal with. But good Lord, there's a lot of horrible people too. Not the majority, but just a lot. You get the idea. If I was going to write an essay about that community, I would absolutely include a body paragraph where I talk about that community. What are the rules of the community? What are the norms? What are the, everyone understands Riverside County. It's a place, there are laws, there are problems within the community. These problems impact life within the community. What are the problems that impact the lives of people within the cosplay community or within the comic book nerd community? And I mean, speaking specifically of the comic book community, the comic book fan community, oh man, there's a whole lot of toxic people, whether it's homophobia or racism or misogyny or just weird incels being weird and incelly. Whatever it is, there are problems. I need to explain that community to the reader because I cannot take it for granted that the reader, the audience, knows the comic book fan community the way they know Riverside. Does that make sense? So if you're writing about a community like that, then you can easily just, you will have then 8 paragraphs total, 6 body paragraphs, and you can have one piece of evidence in each body paragraph. If you are writing about Riverside County or something similar that the audience definitely knows about, then you are going to only need 7 paragraphs total, 5 body paragraphs, and therefore you are going to have 2 pieces of evidence in one of your body paragraphs. Doesn't matter which one, that's entirely up to you. Maybe you want to save that for the paragraph where you're talking about the best solution. I don't know. That's entirely up to you. I've already, in the compare and contrast outline video, I've shown you how to double up on evidence. If you want to see the template for doing that, you can always go, I'm going to share my screen again. You can always go, let's go back to Canvas. You can always go to the file section and just look at the outline template, which will show you body paragraph with 2 pieces of evidence in topic, sentence, context, evidence analysis, transition, as opposed to a body paragraph with 1 piece of evidence. So that is always something you can do. It's always there in the file section. Looking back over at the research outline, this is how I would use your body paragraphs. Describe the problem. If you need to describe the community, that would be your first body paragraph, and the second body paragraph would be the description of the problem. And then the three body paragraphs after that are going to be devoted to each of the 3 solutions you propose, and the final body paragraph will be talking about the best of those solutions. Pretty standard stuff. You will, of course, need to include a works cited page with all the various sources you use. All of these sources, I will remind you, have to come from scholarly peer-reviewed journals. News articles, they are not going to count for this assignment. It doesn't matter how truthful or how good they are. You need to be using sources from scholarly peer-reviewed journals. And the last thing I'll say about that is, if you are having trouble finding sources, the next video I record is going to be for the annotated bibliographies. I'm going to show you how to find sources using the library's academic database, and how to put together an ABIB. But if you're having trouble finding sources, I swear to God, I can't overstate this enough. Your librarians at the school are magical wonderful creatures, and I would absolutely take advantage of their presence there. You don't have to go to campus to talk to them. You can call them. I think there is even on the library website a link to chat with someone there. And if it's not at that specific library, there is a link, I'm positive, that says chat with a librarian. It might not be a librarian at RCC, but it'll be a librarian who can help you. Obviously, if you are trying to chat with someone at 3 a.m., you might have a bit of a wait. But if you are chatting between regular business hours of like 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., you're very likely going to get someone soonish to chat with. If you are having a hard time finding sources, you can always text me on Remind. You can always show up on Zoom during my office hour, but I cannot tell you, whatever help I might be to you, the librarians are going to make me look like a chump. They are magical people who know how to do research better than I ever will. I actually had to take a research tutorial. I don't know what it was. I had to take a two-part research information session for a doctoral program a year ago. And oh my God, it turns out I've been teaching this stuff for years, and it turns out I just don't know near as much as I thought I did. Librarians, they're like Jedis. Go seek their help. Okay, that's everything I have to say for this video. It's pretty self-explanatory, really, at this point. You've done outlines before. If you have questions, obviously get me on Zoom during my office hour. If that doesn't work out and you need to talk to me on Zoom, text me on Remind, we'll work it out. Otherwise, just text me on Remind with whatever questions you have, and I'll be happy to help. That's everything I need to say. End of semester is almost here, guys. Hold on tight. Talk to you soon.